Melissa says, it is so important to be able to identify your emotions. Yes, let me take a sip of my tea. Hold on. I'm sorry if me swallowing my tea is really loud. My microphone is right there. But yeah, it's weird that being able to identify your emotions. It's weird if we realize that that's something that we struggle with, if we never realized we struggled with it before. And it can be difficult to start to realize that we're not in touch with ourselves because, we are our own baseline for normal. We've been living this life for however old we are. And so we're used to just kind of doing things or feeling things the way we've been feeling them. But yes, learning, like turning inward and realizing kind of what we were talking about earlier with these different walking meditations. I love that one in particular because it brings awareness to your body. It's not just silencing your mind, but it's bringing awareness to your body. So as you're walking, paying attention to, how does your foot feel when it hits the ground? Is it heel and then toe? Or are you walking where it's more like the middle of your foot's hitting the ground first? And how does that feel in your right knee or in your left knee or in your left hip or in your right hip? And how does your gait or like your cadence as you're walking, how does it feel? Does something feel off, or do you experience any type of pain anywhere? Or do you find that you're holding your breath, or kind of just bringing that awareness to what's going on internally is so eye-opening. It's really, really wild. And same thing, like if you're at work or driving in the car, paying attention to how does it feel as I'm sitting here? Like, is there a pain in my lower back? Does my body feel like hunched over or tense or pinched or, uncomfortable? And then, because I think sometimes it can be easier to pay attention to how we feel physically. But what's interesting about that is we tend to store our emotions on a physical level as well. So we have, if we have tension and stress, we have headaches, we have backaches, our shoulders are up high, we're feeling anxious, we're sweating profusely, we're biting our nails. So all of these emotions, they're coming out in physical ways. And once we can see the connection, then a lot of these physical symptoms that we might have just thought were not related at all turn out, after all, that yes, they're in fact very related. So it's amazing. It's amazing the insight that this kind of stuff can bring. So, but on like an emotional level, and this is the thing that's really kind of sad when you think about it, as far as the way modern medicine goes, is we're all trying to escape all of this, all of these uncomfortable emotions. We're like, okay, we need to get on an antidepressant because depression's not normal. We need to get on an anti-anxiety medication because anxiety is not normal. Or I should say, it's actually both of those things are very normal, but they're very uncomfortable. And so we're trying to get away from all of these feelings that we're experiencing. And this isn't to say to not get on that medication, because it can get really old really quickly feeling that way. It can be nice to have a break, but realizing again that our emotions have a message for us. It's especially uncomfortable emotions. So if we're feeling uncomfortable or unpleasant emotions, it's a sign that something's out of whack. That's something, we need to get something back into alignment. And that can be kind of hard to figure out, especially if we've been living like this for a long time, or if we're so out of touch with what's going on that which is very normal, and that we just don't connect that these things are related. But, it's sort of like you have health and then you have disease. And if you break that word apart, it's dis-ease. So it's not in ease, right? So it's the state of resistance. It's the state of tension. It's the state of I think really resistance is probably the best way to put it. In these things, they really do, there is a huge physical component to it. Not to say that it's necessarily all emotionally related. You know, a lot of it, of course, is like genetic or environmental, but there is a huge emotional component to that. So, yes, getting in touch with how you're feeling and how different emotions feel. So, and because we all, I think, store our emotions differently as well. So I know for me, when I start feeling tense, I start doing this. Like I'll start rubbing my neck a lot. Like I do this a lot at work where I'm like, oh no, I'm fine. Totally fine. Just like, and I've got all these knots in the back of my neck, and that's where I store a lot of my tension. So if I start doing that, that's my sign that I need to go, something's got to change. I either need to take a day off, I need to go get a massage, I need to get some better sleep, I need to do all of the above. Something needs to get back into alignment. Or, if a person is, if you're experiencing, anger, like asking yourself, next time you get angry, where do you feel that? How does anger feel? Not just on an emotional level, not just I feel like I feel rage, I feel, not emotional, but physical as well. I feel hot. I feel tension in my shoulders. I feel maybe a sharp pain in my side. I feel, my leg muscles clench up. Like, how does it feel when you're having these different emotions? And and at the same time, how does being happy feel? How does being joyful feel? Does it feel, do you feel excited? Do you stand up straighter? Are you more talkative? Are your shoulders back? Are your abdominal muscles clenched? Do your eyes sparkle? Like, what are the signs that you're experiencing joy? And what's really cool about this too is that our mind impacts our body and our body impacts our mind. Our physiology affects our psychology affects our physiology. So, and this is so cool. So like you can do different kind of like little life hack things to get yourself into certain emotions. So even if you don't feel happy, if you act like how you act when you are happy, making those body changes impacts your mind. So physically changing your body into the body of a happy person, having a smile on your face, saying nice things to other people, like wearing bright colors, doing things that a happy person would do, can change your mindset into being in a happy mindset. Just like if you're wanting to be depressed, there's certain like physiological changes that happen when a person's depressed. Their shoulders are slumped, their head is down, they tend to be wearing darker colors. They're not taking care of their hygiene. They haven't showered in a day or two. These things will contribute to a person being depressed. So like the brain is so fascinating how all of this works. So you can really act your way into feeling a certain way. Lots of love to you guys. You are not alone. You are not crazy, and you really can move forward and heal from this.